Finn the human is a sword-swinging adventurer, the last known human and somehow the emotional backbone of a world made of candy, magic, and post-apocalyptic weirdness. But behind the hero who changes into battle to punch monsters is a boy carrying a lot of emotional baggage. From daddy issues and heartbreak to past lives and evil alternate versions, Finn's story goes deeper than you'd expect. So let's dive into the land of Ooh and dig up the entire life story of Finn the human. Before he was a hero or had a single clue what was going on, Finn was just a naked baby crying in the woods with a leaf stuck to his butt. Literally, his first memory is of going boom boom on a leaf and crying until someone found him. That someone? Joshua and Margaret, a married couple who happen to be magical talking dogs. Finn's real parents, however, are Martin and Minerva Mertens, a pair of humans from a colony called Founders Island. His mom, Minerva, was a kind-hearted, hyper-intelligent nurse. His dad, Martin, on the other hand, was reckless, self-serving, and constantly running from one disaster to the next. When a crisis struck their island, Martin attempted to flee using a raft, taking baby Finn with him. But the journey quickly turned into a disaster, and so, in a state of panic, Martin left the infant boy on a raft on the ocean, either to save him or simply to escape faster. He never looked back.
Finn, I'll be back for you. Here comes the rascal!
But at least the baby Finn ended up with a magical breadstick wand to provide him with enough food till he washed up on the island of Ooh. And just like that, a new life began. Joshua and Margaret took him in and raised him like one of their own, even though he wasn't a magical dog or remotely normal. That's how Finn became brothers with Jake, the stretchy talking dog who would go on to be his ride or die for the rest of his life, and beyond. Jake's technically older in dog years, but they grew up together. But while Jake always seemed comfortable in his body, his magic, his place in the world, Finn never really was. From the very beginning, Finn has always been searching for his origins, for purpose and identity.
I think I really need some answers to stuff. Like, where did I come from? Or who's my mom?
Whoops.
Being the only known human in a world full of candy people, vampires, robots, and elemental beings tends to mess with the head a little. So, before Finn ever picked up a sword or screamed a battle cry, he was just a lost kid trying to figure out who he was and why he was alone. And that question never really left him. But before he became the hero we know, let's take a look at who Finn was in the beginning. In the very first episode, Finn meets Princess Bubblegum, who attempts an experiment to bring the dead candy people back to life.
Hey, Princess Bubblegum, when we bring the dead back to life, will they be filled with worms?
No.
The experiment, of course, fails, and the candy people are now zombies. But Princess Bubblegum makes Finn swear a royal promise not to tell anyone. The boy hero takes the oath and helps the princess cover up her act by throwing a slumber party for all the candy people. Here, Finn freaks out trying to keep the candy people from finding out, while Jake the dog tries to get the information out of him. But when Finn spills the secret, he's immediately seized by the guardians of the royal promise for punishment. But rather than face death, he ends up solving math problems.
Oh, wait, I thought of a better one. Yes, 2 + 2.
Solve it or die.
4, right?
As a boy, Finn dealt with adolescent problems which influenced his behavior and also helped build his character. He was all energy and very few plans. Basically, a kid with a sword, zero impulse control, and a habit of charging into danger without asking for directions. Finn wanted to be a hero more than anything, even if he had no idea what being a hero meant yet, except that he knew he had to do the right thing. And somehow, that reckless energy works. The people of Candy Kingdom love him. Princess Bubblegum gives him quests. Jake, his stretchy dog brother, follows him loyally, and together they leap from one bizarre adventure to the next, fighting farting witches, sentient hearts, and whatever the land of Ooh decides to cough up that day.
Dang it!
You go fight. I'll keep tree trunks out of trouble.
Awesome!
But let's look at the adventures that shaped Finn into the boy and hero he became, and the villains he took down. The first villain of the show Finn faces is the Ice King. Finn's first encounter with the Ice King happened when he and Jake were out having fun, sledding in the Ice Kingdom and fighting ice monsters, but their fun annoyed the Ice King, a grumpy old man, and he froze them. Ice King took the two to his palace and locked them up in his dungeon. But there, Finn learns that the Ice King had kidnapped and locked up princesses, trying to get one of them to marry him. Finn decides to rescue the princesses and comes up with a plan. A childish one, but it works. He makes the princesses pretend to be having fun, and when the Ice King comes to join in, Finn takes him down and the princesses escape. But this would be the first of his many encounters with the Ice King. The two would have many showdowns and battles, usually ending with Finn taking down the Ice King and interrupting his plans of kidnapping princesses. The show first sets him up to be the main antagonist and villain. That turns out not to be exactly the case. Despite their battles, the Ice King makes it clear that he doesn't want to kill Finn or Jake. Even when he hired a hitman on them, it wasn't for the purpose of having them killed.
I hired a guy to kill you by accident.
What?
I thought he was gonna just hit you in the gut and make you spit up your lunch.
But Finn and Jake still consider the Ice King a foe and believe every motive he has is evil because that's what they always see from him, until more of his personality and history comes out, and what it reveals changes everything. Turns out, the Ice King's real name was Simon Petrikov, a kind, eccentric man who found a magical crown that gave him power, but slowly erased his identity. The deeper he sank into the crown's madness, the more he forgot who he was and who he loved. In its place, delusions, loneliness, and a twisted obsession with capturing princesses. As the seasons pass and the truth unravels, Finn starts to see that this villain isn't evil, he's hurting. He may have a misguided view on things, but he isn't out to truly harm people. In one episode, Finn and Jake kidnap the Ice King on Princess Bubblegum's orders and lock him up. But technically, Ice King did nothing wrong, and Finn starts feeling bad and sets him free. After they let him go, Finn learns that the people of Candy Kingdom are falling sick from a side effect of snowflakes from the Ice King's beard. It turns out the only cure is the Ice King's sad howls. So, Finn and Jake go back to the Ice Kingdom. To get the Ice King to howl again, Finn pretends to die after Ice King hits him while trying to swat a bug off him. And what we see is that Ice King is visibly heartbroken by this. Like, he genuinely regrets it. In this guilt, he begins to wail, and the Candy people are cured.
Archie's feeling healthy again. A bit too healthy if you ask me.
The scene again shows that the Ice King, for all his ways, is not a straight-up evil person, and it's something Finn comes to understand and respect. These moments shift Finn's view of Ice King, from hatred to confusion to pity and eventually empathy. He stops fighting him. He starts listening, sometimes even tries to help. The relationship becomes complicated. Not enemies, not friends, connected in a way Finn doesn't fully understand until much later. But speaking of his evolving relationships, let's move on from villains to other candy crushes that Finn has had. At the start of the series, Finn had a major obsession with Princess Bubblegum, but it was mostly a one-sided crush. Bubblegum often seemed indifferent toward his advances, though she'd occasionally flatter him just enough to keep his hopes alive. She clearly saw Finn as a great friend, even calling him my hero several times. Still, Finn kept trying to impress her. He'd go on all sorts of ridiculous quests just because she asked, and of course, Finn didn't mind the quests too much, especially with the kind of perks they sometimes came with. Like in the episode The Real You, after Finn saves the Candy Kingdom from a black hole and saves her science barbecue, PB rewards him with a kiss on the cheek. Naturally, Finn is over the moon. His feelings for her also ended up helping him in a big way. When it came time to face off against the Lich, one of the show's biggest villains, what gave Finn the strength to win was a pink sweater PB had given him. It had a little white heart stitched into it, and the tiny gesture reminded Finn just how much he cared about her.
This sweater, it's keeping me safe.
I care about you, Finn.
This is it. The ultimate weapon against evil. The power of liking someone a lot. Lich!
They both had their shot at dating once when Princess Bubblegum aged down to 13. Suddenly, she started acting all sweet and affectionate toward Finn. She even went on a little date with him, leaned on his shoulder, held his hand, the whole thing. And during her transformation back to 18, they share a warm hug, and then she kisses Finn on the lips. But the moment she snapped back to 18, she did her usual distant attitude. Finn's little romantic dream came crashing down, and the heartbreak hit hard.
Finn, you silly. That was like 5 years ago. You really gotta move on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Such a silly boy.
Eventually, Finn comes to terms with just being friends. As for love, that torch eventually gets passed to Flame Princess, Finn's first real relationship. Flame Princess was Finn's first real girlfriend, and also his first real ex. It all kicks off when Finn admits to having a crush on this mysterious fire elemental, thanks to Jake's trying to set the two of them up. Then Finn sets off on a mission to find her, his new hot crush. He and Jake find her by a pond, and Finn rushes out from the bushes to confess his feelings. Things don't go exactly as planned. So yeah, rocky start. But things shift. Finn, frustrated and sad that he can't just like a girl, and Flame Princess conclude they can't be together because they'll just hurt each other. But Finn, ever the romantic, insists.
Can't we try?
You would defy nature for me?
Yeah.
And they officially become a couple. Their fiery romance ignites quickly. Forgive me, I can't help the pun. Their relationship is a complicated one. Finn is warned that if they get too passionate, Flame Princess's elemental matrix could destabilize and literally burn the world from the inside out. Naturally, Finn ignores this and learns the hard way.
Flame Princess! Flame Princess!
When Flame Princess falls into the Earth's crust from emotional overload, he dives in heroically to save her. He succeeds, but it becomes clear this love could literally melt the world. Still, Finn's smitten and refuses to give up. Their relationship ended in the episode Frost and Fire. Finn starts dreaming about Flame Princess fighting Ice King, and he likes it. A little too much. He wants the dream to continue, so he tricks them into battling again by writing fake, insulting letters in each other's names.
Dear Ice King, you smell like stink, you're unpleasant, you're not funny, you're old, blah, 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 blah. Sincerely, the Flame Princess. P.S. Let us fight.
The two end up clashing, and it is catastrophic. Finn passes out from the heat and wakes up to chaos and a furious Flame Princess. When he confesses, she walks away, hurt and betrayed.
That letter said things in it that only you would know. Personal things, Finn. And you used them against me. I thought you were the one person I could... I need some time alone.
After that, their relationship dissolves. They drift apart, eventually settling into a cautious friendship, but deep down, it's clear. Finn never quite stopped having feelings for her. But beyond love interests, Finn's deepest connection was always with his brother, Jake. Jake is more than just Finn's best friend. He's his adoptive brother and a lifelong partner in crime and justice. Raised together by Jake's parents, the two share a bond that's as close as any blood relationship. Jake, being technically older in dog years anyway, takes on the role of chill older sibling, even if his definition of guidance involves naps and food more than deep wisdom. Like any brothers, their relationship has its rough patches. Finn's passionate, heroic energy often clashes with Jake's laid-back, sometimes downright lazy attitude. While Finn's charging into danger with a battle cry, Jake's more likely to be napping on the couch or crafting a song about sandwiches. And sometimes, that relaxed nature crosses into selfishness. One particularly sour moment comes when Finn is turned into a foot. Instead of helping him reverse the curse, Jake just laughs it off, telling Finn to accept his new foot life. Finn, visibly depressed, is left to deal with his condition alone. Not exactly best bro behavior.
Just be a foot for a little bit. Okay, I will. Awesome, dude. You'll never regret this. Okay, when the next monster comes along, he'll step on that trigger over there, sending your giant foot body into the monster's crotch.
Another time their relationship almost got strained was after Jake ended up in a relationship with Lady Renicorn and had 5 children with her. His focus shifted towards being a father.
I'm gonna live with Lady and the pups from now on. I'm a dad now. It's a pretty big whoop.
Oh.
This created a distance between Finn and Jake, but they remained close friends and Finn enjoyed being an uncle. But beneath the occasional squabbles and sarcasm lies an unshakable bond. Finn and Jake have saved each other's lives countless times, fought side by side against monsters, tyrants, and existential threats, even the Lich himself. Their partnership isn't just grounded in loyalty, it's interdimensional. Across timelines, universes, and cosmic trials, they always find their way back to one another. Nothing captures the depth of their bond more than the Adventure Time Distant Land special, Together Again. This is set decades after the main series, where Finn has died, long after Jake, and all he wants is to see his brother again. The mere memory of Jake fuels Finn's escape from all illusionary trap in the dead worlds. His longing is so powerful it transcends death itself. But when he finally finds Jake in the 50th Dead World, a place of eternal peace, it turns out Jake has nearly forgotten him, having let go of all worldly attachments. Still, when Jake sees Finn and they reconnect and say goodbyes, Jake decides to follow Finn back into life so they can be together again.
I know. I'll just come back for fun. Because it's great being alive with you.
Good reason.
While Jake is Finn's ride or die and basically family, there's always been a void in Finn's heart, the ache of not knowing where he truly came from. As the last known human for most of his life, he never got the chance to experience a typical family. That is, until he met his biological father, Martin Mertens. Martin was not exactly the heroic dad Finn may have dreamed of. A con artist on the run, Martin fled his troubles by escaping to sea with baby Finn in tow. When danger struck, Martin actually did something selfless. He sacrificed himself to save Finn from an island guardian. Unfortunately, Finn was too young to remember any of it. Years later, Finn learns his dad is alive and trapped in the Citadel.
Hey, do me a favor. Get me out of here, huh?
Excited and hopeful, Finn rushes to meet him, only to be met with cold indifference. Martin doesn't recognize him, doesn't even try. For a boy who just wanted to connect with a family he never had, this was devastating.
I said, Finn's your son. He came a long way to meet you.
Son? Oh. Hey, good for you, kid. In other news, I still gotta get out of here and the ground is melting.
They meet again later, and Martin, now more mellowed, actually calls Finn his son.
Well, I'm glad we finally understand each other. Start the engine, Comet Boy!
Prepare to discorporate.
Goodbye, son!
It's a small gesture, but a meaningful one. Finn confronts him about the pain of being abandoned, only to be told,
Daddy's back! You and me, Daddy and baby.
Martin then takes the offer of the Catalyst Comet to live as a cosmic being and floats off into the stars.
Martin, I won't let you escape!
Hey, you're a void caster, right? We gotta put some... Oh, gross. Pedal to the metal! Hey, what about air?
Even at their final goodbye, their relationship is still complicated. Finn no longer hates him, but he's definitely not sending any Father's Day cards either. Meeting his mother, though, that was a very different experience. Martin once mentioned her to Finn, saying talking about her was too stressful.
Your mom was... okay, I don't know. Talking about it stresses me out. Maybe later.
But classic Martin never brought it up again, so Finn had no memory of her. But Minerva had spent years in pain and confusion after losing her baby boy. In the Islands miniseries, Finn finally meets her when he travels across the sea to learn about the human race. He finds out that his mom isn't quite alive in the usual sense. She had uploaded her mind to a computer to help save the last remaining humans from a deadly virus. Now, she basically runs the islands through an army of helpful robot clones. Their reunion is sweet at first. Things get complicated when Minerva wants Finn to give up his life in Oo and stay on the island forever. She even suggests that he upload himself to live digitally with her. Naturally, Finn isn't on board with that. He values freedom, adventure, and his life in Oo far too much to settle down as a digital ghost. Though his disagreement creates some tension, eventually they make peace. Finn spends a little time with her before returning home. Their goodbye, shared through VR goggles, is tearful and tender. Proof that even across data streams and timelines, Finn really loves his mom. But he loves his life of adventure and heroism just as much.
When do I fire the torpedoes?
Kara, you ready to go?
Actually, I think we're headed in a different direction.
And speaking of Finn's life in Oo and true test of heroism, let's look at his battles to save the world against the Lich. The Lich isn't just another villain in Finn's story. He's the ultimate embodiment of evil, death, and cosmic annihilation. Where Finn represents youthful hope, love, and chaotic good, the Lich is pure ancient malice with a single goal: the destruction of all life. Their fated rivalry begins in Mortal Folly, where the Lich breaks free from his prison and immediately sets the multiverse on a path toward extinction. Then the Lich calls Finn into his well of power, hinting that he sees something of himself in Finn. Or worse, believes Finn could be turned.
Don't let the Lich reach his well of power!
But Finn isn't easy to break. The Lich tries again and again to exploit his emotions, even possessing Princess Bubblegum and using Finn's love for her to manipulate him into handing over crucial artifacts. But the Lich didn't stop there. Later, disguised as Billy, a former hero Finn respects and admires, the Lich manipulates Finn's trust, convincing him to steal the powerful gems from the princesses in Candy Kingdom. Finn thought he was doing this to save the world, but he found out the Lich had deceived him and wanted to use it to activate the Enchiridion and open a portal to Prismo, the Wishmaster, and destroy the world.
Thanks, Finn. I couldn't have done it without you.
Jake, stop him! Don't let him through that portal!
Finn and Jake chased after him, and after a series of battles, they defeated him. But for all these troubles, what if Finn never met the Lich? Well, that's what brings us to the alternate versions of Finn, and it is wild, like what you expect in Adventure Time. So, what if Finn never met the Lich? That's the reality of Farm World Finn, created when Finn made a wish that the Lich had never existed. Suddenly, no candy people, no Oo, no magic dog powers, just a regular farm boy trying to survive.
Oh, I'm poor. But what about I trade you for a personal concert at your house? I'll come over later and sing you like 4 songs. I mostly do covers, but I have originals too.
But things went sideways fast when he discovered a cave where Simon Petrikov had once saved the world by freezing a nuke and gotten crushed in the process. Despite warnings from an old Marceline, Farm World Finn, in true Finn fashion, puts on the Ice King's crown and turned full Ice Finn, triggering the frozen nuke to unleash the spirit of the very Lich. Ice Finn slowly became consumed by the same madness that broke Simon.
The crown, it compels me to ice up everything!
Meanwhile, in the cosmic corner of reality, Jake and Prismo watched it all unfold. Jake made a wish to undo the Lich's plan, snapping things back to normal. Except Icefin? Still out there. And to make things worse, that Lich possessed Farm World Jake.
Jake! Get out of the way!
Things escalated in later episodes until Prismo had to send regular Finn and Jake to stop Farmworld Finn from gathering gems and opening multiverse-wrecking portals. Luckily, they succeeded. But that's just one version of Finn. There's also Fiona, a gender-swapped Finn who first appeared in Ice King's fanfiction, except plot twist, she and Cake are real. Turns out Prismo secretly created them, hiding their world inside Ice King's mind. Then we have Finn's past lives. He was once a glowing catalyst comet, a blue-winged butterfly, and even a giant pink interdimensional doo-doo blob, as he lovingly puts it.
My past lives. I was a comet, a butterfly, a thing. I don't know what that is, some kind of shape? Or a dude in another dimension?
Do you remember anything about the scary lady?
Scary lady.
And Fiona wasn't the only female version of him. There's also Shoko, Finn's most haunting past self. Shoko was hired to steal Princess Bubblegum's amulet rather than snatch it. She befriended Princess Bubblegum, but died tragically after falling into toxic slime, mutating into a slug-like creature before collapsing beside a sapling, the very one that became Finn's treehouse. As a ghost, Shoko haunted Finn until he fulfilled her last wish, returning the amulet to Bubblegum and finally giving her peace. For all his past lives and alternate versions, Finn the human eventually met the one thing even he couldn't punch: old age. That brings us to the next section about Finn's old age and afterlife. In the special episode Adventure Time Distant Lands, Together Again, Finn passed away sometime after the series ended. But death, in true Adventure Time fashion, wasn't the end. Instead, it became another adventure. In the Dead Worlds, Finn embarks on a journey to reunite with Jake, who had died before him. And when they finally found each other again, it was two best friends together again, ready for whatever's next. And what is next? Reincarnation. Rather than rest in peace, Finn and Jake choose to return to the living world and do it all over again, because some friendships and some adventures are just too good to end. But this brings our story on Finn to the end. He began as a reckless but big-hearted kid, eager to prove himself. Over time, he learned that being a hero isn't always about fighting monsters or rescuing princesses. It's about making hard choices, handling heartbreak, and doing the right thing even when it's not easy. But when it comes to growing up, dealing with rejection, identity, and learning who you really are, surprisingly, Meg Griffin's story is just the same. Hers is crazier, messier, and way more unhinged. Check out the next video about her entire life story and see for yourself.